There's so many wrestlers I respect. But honestly, there's only a few wrestlers I truly admire as human beings outside the ring. Because wrestling fans sometimes forget what wrestlers actually sacrifice. And trust me, the word sacrifice in wrestling isn't just a dramatic word. It's real. Wrestlers sacrifice birthdays, family dinners, funerals, anniversaries, time with their children, relationships, sleep, their bodies, and sometimes even their mental health. People see the entrances, the pyro, the championships, the crowd reactions, but they don't always see the hotel rooms, the airports, the injuries, the loneliness. And honestly, today's generation of wrestlers actually gets more balance than older generations ever did. Modern WWE schedules are lighter than the old Vince McMahon era. AWW stars often have more flexibility. Some wrestlers even travel abroad and still work independent shows or wrestle in Japan. Back then, wrestlers were practically living on the road, and house shows played a huge part in that life. For people who don't know, house shows are non-televised wrestling events where wrestlers could experiment, improve their craft, and test matches in front of live crowds. And honestly, that road life sounded brutal. Imagine wrestling in one city, driving 6 hours, sleeping for about 12 minutes, eating petrol station food that looks like it lost a Hell in a Cell match, then repeating the whole process again tomorrow. That life isn't easy. Which brings me to one man. And honestly, I mean this with complete respect. Phenomenal isn't just a nickname. It's who he is. Alan Neil Jones. But the wrestling world knows him as the phenomenal AJ Styles. Now here's the crazy thing. Back in 2002, AJ Styles actually turned down a WWE developmental contract. And some people hearing that today probably think, what? Especially because nowadays, some wrestlers would probably superkick their own neighbor for a WWE contract. But AJ turned it down for one reason: family. Taking the deal would have forced him to move to Cincinnati, Ohio, but AJ stayed in Georgia so his wife Wendy could finish college and continue chasing her dream of becoming a teacher. And honestly, that decision tells you everything about the man, because AJ Styles could have easily said, "Nope, wrestling first, everybody else second." But he didn't. He chose loyalty. He chose love. He chose family. And weirdly enough, I honestly think that decision helped create the AJ Styles we eventually got. Because if AJ joined WWE back in 2002, I genuinely don't think he becomes the legendary figure we know today. And before people attack me in the comments, hear me out. Early AJ Styles was unbelievable in the ring, but talking wasn't his strongest point yet. I honestly think WWE back then may have turned him into another mid-card talent, another forgotten cruiserweight, or somebody floating around without direction. Because back then, WWE wasn't always patient with smaller wrestlers. Instead, AJ Styles built himself outside WWE, TNA, Japan, independent wrestling. He became a global star. The man practically built TNA's identity for years. When people thought of TNA, they thought AJ Styles. That's legacy. And by the time AJ finally arrived in WWE in 2016, he didn't arrive as a rookie. He arrived as AJ Styles. The crowd already knew. That Royal Rumble debut? Absolute chills. And honestly, that's why sacrifice matters. Because sometimes delaying success actually creates success. AJ sacrificed the quick money, the instant fame, the easy route. And in return, he became one of the greatest in-ring wrestlers of all time. Not just as a wrestler, but as a husband, a father, a family man. And honestly, I think young wrestlers should study AJ Styles. Not just the phenomenal forearm, not just the matches, not just the championships. Study the man. Because character outside the ring matters too. And the crazy thing? AJ Styles was part of an era filled with monsters. John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton, Edge, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. Yet somehow, AJ Styles still carved out his own legendary place in wrestling history. That's greatness. And AJ, if you somehow ever hear this from PWC, thank you. And please, brother, give us one last old-school AJ Styles performance. High-flying, risk-taking, absolute ass-kicker AJ Styles. One last reminder of why you're called phenomenal.